Yeah, Kelvin, lead is really not safe at any kind of level. And so considering how many homes may have had lead paint or may have just had components like plumbing made out of lead, it is a big concern after the January wildfires. So USC is providing free soil testing to people impacted by both the Palisades and Eaton Fire at completely no cost. Take a look. This is what's left of USC Dornsife professor Josh West's home after the Palisades fire ripped through his neighborhood. As an earth sciences expert, he's now leading a community initiative through USC to test for lead contamination in soil, offering it as a free public service.
We're trying to provide this testing service so that people can get information and learn if there is a concern like that.
In his backyard, Josh demonstrates how to collect a sample and says to choose an area that's most likely to be contaminated.
Where you've seen ash or other debris, but also places where you imagine that the soil might matter. You might come in contact with the soil if you have kids, places they might play.
Using a plastic spoon, scoop no more than 1 cup of soil into a plastic bag. Then complete the intake survey on USC's Public Exchange website. You'll get a unique sample ID to label your bag. No personal info needed, and samples can be mailed or dropped off.
So you can choose here whether to submit it by mail, and there's an address, or there's 3 drop-off locations, one in Altadena, one here in the Palisades at the American Legion, and one in Santa Monica.
Lead is toxic to humans, even at low levels. It can cause serious health problems for both kids and adults. Dr. Howard Hu is a preventative medicine professor at USC's Keck School. He says lead's persistence in older paint, metal parts, and car batteries is a major concern after wildfires.
So when a car burns in your driveway and the battery burns, all this lead gets oxidized and gets out into the atmosphere.
With wildfires becoming more intense and frequent, in part due to climate change, Dr. Hu says it's time to move forward toward more sustainable materials.
These wildfires are a wake-up call for everybody, just the size, the scale, what it means for the environment and human health, but also what it means for how we build more resilient communities is really important lessons.
Before leaving the Palisades, Josh stops by the American Legion to pick up samples the public has dropped off, one of 3 drop-off sites in the region. He brings the samples to the USC lab, where the soil is dried, sieved, and prepped for testing.
The motivation here is that knowledge is power, and we want to try to give that opportunity to people, especially because it's so hard for government agencies and so on to manage testing at this kind of scale.
By offering free soil testing, this project helps communities understand their health risk for lead and if it's hiding beneath the surface. Now, to take part in USC's free program, you can go to the site on your screen, publicexchange.usc.edu. Kelvin?
I would imagine some folks definitely want to do that after seeing this piece here, Sarah. Let me ask you this. The LA County Department of Public Health found elevated levels of lead downwind of the Eaton fires we mentioned earlier, and in some hot spots also in the Palisades. Has USC found any similar trends on their watch?
Yeah, I asked them about those trends. So far, what they've seen is that the elevated levels are really in those burned areas. Once you start getting past the burned areas, it starts to decrease. So that has really been the trend that they've seen so far.